Hello and welcome to Technique Tuesday. Last week we worked on the random stamping, and today I'm going to take that random stamped card and we're going to kind of jazz it up a little bit. We're going to use some pigment ink and some embossing powder and make this a little bit shine. I like a little shine on the cards. So we're going to start with the fern. So we're going to start with the New England ivy and the larger scroll image, and we're going to ink it up. Now remember, pigment ink, it doesn't take a lot of dabbing to get the pigment ink on, and you want to be careful not to slide. And we're going to go ahead and do up all three of these because it's going to stay wet for a little while, and that's what we want. And then we'll close that up so we don't hit it with the embossing powder. And then we'll put some embossing powder on the card front here. Just a little bit. And shake it around so it covers the whole image. And then shake it off. I might have missed a little bit on that one. Let's slide it back down that way. There we go. I think I got all of it. All right, once you've gotten it all covered, you might want to flip it over and flick it a little bit so that you can make sure that you don't have a lot of it anywhere else. Now what you might want to do too is to make sure that you either heat set the first inked image so that it's not wet before you start doing the embossing. Then we're going to hit it with the heat gun. Sorry for the noise. And we want to be careful because while these are cardstocks, card bases are made of cardstock, the heat will make it warp just a little. And we don't want it to be too hot and get too warped. We also don't want to catch it on fire. So we're just going to play around, move it around a lot until we see all of it melting. That looks good. Got that one little corner. All right. And then as you can see, you now have a little bit of a shine to your stamped images instead of them just being plain. And then let's clean up the embossing powder. That's why I used that folded sheet of paper. And just as I did last week, I put that underneath the little foam piece. So then you can decide whether or not you want to also shine up the smaller trees, or if you just want to use the regular ink. And I think what I'm going to do on this one is just come in with the regular ink for the overlay on the other tree, which is a very small outline. And we're going to do that. It was stamped in Sweet Leaf, if you remember last week. So then we'll just come back with and stamp over. And there we go. And that just gives a little bit more depth. And I got the edge, but that's going to be covered, so that one's okay. But that was, again, I used too big of a block. I should have used a smaller block for that one. And that's why I always say use the right block. And remember, when you play with pigment ink, it's kind of messy, so you're going to want to stamp it off several times. And then you want to have some paper towel so you can kind of clean up any excess. You don't want to get too much of that pigment ink onto your scrubber. And then spritz it and clean it up, and it should clean up really nicely. And there we go, and then it's ready to be used for the next. And that's all there is to it. So now this card is ready for the parts. It's going to have a green piece, and it'll have some shine. See, that took care of that boo-boo spot. And then it will have a red piece, right like that, and this piece. And that will finish it out. So come back and see how the cards look next time on our Technique Tuesday. Thank you.